The opinions and suggestions expressed on the following program are solely those of the participants and are not necessarily endorsed by KRMG, Cox Media Group Incorporated, or the program sponsors. This following program is sponsored by Causeway, LLC. Information in this broadcast is not intended as an investment, tax, or financial advice. Matthew Moore is not a licensed investment advisor and speaks solely from his experience and opinions. All information in this broadcast is for entertainment or educational purposes only. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa are not responsible for the success or failure of any person's investment decisions or purchases. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa makes no and expressly disclaims all representations, warranties, and guarantees with respect to this broadcast and its sponsors. Investing in any market is inherently risky and can be financially dangerous. Invest at your own risk. Gather knowledge in the world of cryptocurrency right now on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's news and talk. Welcome to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Matthew is locally based right here in Tulsa. Questions, comments, concerns? Call 918-460-5764 or send us an open mic using the KRMG app. Now, here's Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore.
And good Sunday evening to you. My name is Russell Mills. Thanks so much for joining us for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We are live and local in the big city of Tulsa on what turned out to be a pretty sunny, if somewhat chilly Sunday. Heading into the holiday season, maybe you're thinking about buying somebody a little Bitcoin for a Christmas present. Can you do that? How should you do that? Could you do it safely? That's just one of many topics we may cover today, but I know the boys got a lot of ground to cover, and they got a whole Tulsa Bitcoin meetup to tell us about. So let's kick it off by bringing in our host, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey. Thanks, Russell. And Tulsa, the world, I should say also. Welcome to one of the few cryptocurrency radio shows in America, I would assume. But in my opinion, this is just strictly my opinion, it is the best cryptocurrency radio show, and I want to welcome you because we're all here to go on a journey to learn, to grow, and to stay safe together. And yes, a few of us may have been in the space for a few more years than maybe some of you who are listening, but we're going to do this together. And we have a lot to unwrap on today's radio show, and to help me tear into this episode like an excited child on Christmas Day is my joyful and festive co-host, Eric Cooper. Eric, Merry Christmas, and welcome back to another episode, brother.
Matt, I appreciate it so much. And yes, Merry Christmas is what we're going to be singing here this week. And so, but you said it. We're in here now. It's still early. When we started this radio show, we still say it's still early. So if you've been waiting, you're on the fence, and maybe you want to take some Christmas money, let's do it. Call Matt. Get in touch with him one way, website. Find something, just anything. Google. We just say Google that stuff and just find out. If you want to find Matt, you can find Matt.
That's right. Well, speaking of Christmas presents, Eric, why don't you share with the audience about the good things our show sponsor has to offer today?
Yes, and today's radio show is brought to you by a company called Hedge. Hedge is revolutionizing how you get paid. Hedge makes it easy to automatically convert your pay into Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Whether you're an employer or you are an employee, you can get started in 4 easy steps. Don't let inflation eat away your paycheck. Protect your purchasing power today. Get all or just a portion of your paycheck in cryptocurrency. What are you waiting for? Start living on the Hedge. Check them out at gethedge.io. Again, that's gethedge.io, and I think we all should be doing this.
That's right. Well, when it comes to cryptocurrency and business, you can do quite a lot. And have you ever wondered what it would be like to tokenize your own business? What does that actually mean in the world of cryptocurrency? And could you issue company stock or debt on a blockchain? Imagine with me creating a utility token that acts like a coupon or a ticket into some kind of digital ecosystem or even a store. There's plenty of applications a company could utilize when it comes to blockchain technology. And later on the show, we are bringing back a friend to talk about all of this and more. His name is Abe Cruz, and he's going to share about why and how he is using blockchain technology in his business, foreverfaith.com. But before we bring him on, Eric, were you able to make it to the Bitcoin meetup this last Thursday?
I did not. My daughter had surgery, and so staying home with her was the plan.
You know what? That's honorable. Well, one thing we always want to highlight on this show is the wonderful people who make up Tulsa's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency community. And to do that, today we have with us one of our regular contributors to the show, Charlie Spears. Charlie always brings a great perspective, but Charlie is with a company called Nakamotor Partners, and he helps Andrew Ryan put on these meetups, which we try to do every month. Charlie, welcome back to the show, my man. Can you please fill us in on how this last meetup actually went?
Hey guys, so glad to be back. I love this show. The Bitcoin meetup this month went very well. We had a great turnout, and one of my favorite kind of series of presentations. Each month we try to have kind of a specific topic or theme. This month was threes, so we had 3 presentations on topics, each kind of around the idea of 3. One of my favorites of those was something called the Bitcoin or the blockchain trilemma, which I recommend everyone try to go down that rabbit hole sometime.
Well, I think we need to do an entire show on that. I think that would be some fun ground to cover. But you've briefly described the topics that you guys covered, but which topic was the most fascinating for you and why? Definitely
the blockchain trilemma. So you can think of a dilemma as a decision between 2 things, and a trilemma is a decision amongst 3. For the lay person, you can have a contract. You can have a handyman who is fast and cheap, but not good quality, or good quality and fast, but not cheap. Mm-hmm. So that's a trilemma. In the blockchain space, we have a similar scenario where you can have a blockchain which is secure, scalable, and or decentralized. So from a theoretical perspective, whenever designing and building blockchains, you have to make trade-offs on any number of those 3 items.
So, and we were talking earlier that Ethereum might be an example of this that's going to be seeing this kind of trilemma, right?
Yeah, it can take a while. It can take many years for the trilemma to truly play out. We saw Bitcoin clearly kind of acknowledge this in 2015 and 2017 during the scaling wars. That's one of the elements of the trilemma. We see this, and ironically, the trilemma is almost most popularized by one of the co-founders of Ethereum, Vitalik. Ethereum right now is very difficult to use. It's $300 to actually get a smart contract. I tried to create a Gnosis multi-sig safe yesterday, and it was prohibitively expensive.
Right.
That's not to say it's not going to go anywhere, but you have these issues, and I think users would be very well benefited to at least research and learn about the trilemma, so you can say, this person says this blockchain is super fast.
Right.
Is that sustainable?
Right.
So, these are very good kind of first principles questions to consider when looking at the space.
Right. And when you look at the decentralization of something like Bitcoin, back in the debate, with the block sizes, which you vaguely alluded to, if you had a larger block size, one of the arguments was that it would cause Bitcoin to not be quite as decentralized because it would require more to run a full node, right?
Correct, yeah. And that was one of the big things you saw. I'm a miner, right? I'm a Bitcoin miner. I think from that perspective, but Bitcoin miners at the time wanted bigger blocks. It'd make their business more profitable, and the Bitcoin network as a whole said, no, we value decentralization. To make the blocks bigger results in suboptimal trade-offs, and we value decentralization and security for the network. We don't care as much about scalability on the base layer.
So if I could translate any of that into English, I think what I'm, because you guys get into the jargon stuff there. Yeah. But what I hear you saying is, so the folks that were behind Bitcoin thought, well, we could have a small amount of miners with really huge systems, or we could have a bunch of miners with smaller systems, a decentralized thing where there's less chance of somebody controlling it. Or
so the answer is actually a bit technical. Some of the miners themselves who are involved in the manufacturing of the actual computers that mine Bitcoin had asymmetric market advantages to scaling to bigger blocks. Now, to bring it back into normal people speech, right? The Bitcoin sees that in order to validate the whole network, you have to run a node. You have to have a computer that looks at every transaction. Right. And to get bigger blocks or faster throughput, like more transactions per second on Bitcoin, would require prohibitively expensive costs associated with making nodes more powerful. So basically, you, Russell, might not be able to run a full node in your house if we had decided to make the blocks bigger or say this blockchain's more scalable. Look at this. If you wanted to run an Ethereum node or a Solana node, that requires none of us in this room could probably put that together because those are expensive and require deep technical expertise.
And, these are the kind of conversations that not only do we have on the radio, but we do it at the meetups as well. Yep. So if you do want to nerd out with us, Charlie, can you explain to people where they can, find out about this, when our next one is? Can you give a little bit of information on that?
You betcha. There are a number of places we coordinate these. There is the Facebook group, Tulsa Bitcoin Meetup. Search that on Facebook. Poke around until you find it. It's a private group, Tulsa Bitcoin Meetup. There's a Discord server. We can link there. And then also, just now, if you're interested in getting involved in the coordination of these things, these are Bitcoin meetups, but we're also trying to promote a positive treatment and understanding of the entire digital asset space. We're beginning to jumpstart what we call the Tulsa DAO. Tulsa DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, kind of like an association for cryptocurrency. And so if you go to tulsadao.org, that'll take you to a Google form intake where you can basically say, I'm interested in what this is, and we can follow up there. I think one of the main themes of 2022 will be roping all of these and other initiatives under the Tulsa DAO, where we say, here's a neutral organization where we support Matt's show, we support the Bitcoin meetups. All these things are good things and for the benefit of the Tulsa community.
Well, we got a lot of content to create in the future, but I'm going to have Charlie stick around for the rest of the show. But when we come back, we're going to bring on our main guest today, Abe Cruz.
And he's got an interesting story to tell. I think you're going to enjoy it. We got to hear just sort of a preview of it last week, but we'll get a little bit more into depth on all of that. Stick with us. You're listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore, and we are live and local on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Sitting in a traffic jam is so peaceful.
Said no one ever. Come on! Let us help you get to your destination on time.
Westbound, it looks good all the way over to Highway 75.
Get traffic updates every 6 minutes during the KRMG morning and evening news on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's traffic station. Sign up for free traffic alerts on the KRMG app.
It's Christmas time, and that means great gifts for everyone from Moody's Jewelry. For Oklahoma's largest selection of gifts that shimmer and sparkle, come to Moody's Jewelry. Diamonds, sapphires, emeralds, and rubies, gold and silver, pearls, and the finest timepieces from the world's most exceptional watchmakers, including Breitling, Omega, and Tag Heuer, just to name a few. And don't forget all the world-famous designers you'll find. Tacori, the Angelica Diamond, Lagos, Charles Krypel, Henry Dossi, and many more. At Moody's Christmas sale, you're sure to find that perfect something to make their eyes light up, with gifts starting at just $49. And to make all your Christmas shopping easier, Moody's has in-store instant financing, or you can apply for easy financing online at moodysjewelry.com. Moody's has convenient hours, so stop by and take home a gift they can't wait to open. And have a very Merry Christmas from Moody's Jewelry. For hours and locations, go to moodysjewelry.com.
It annoys you almost every day, teasing you from its sweet spot in the room. That wall outlet that doesn't work. You swear it looks like two square faces sticking their tongues out at you in defiance. Needless to say, this is not ideal. Ideal Electric upgrades and repairs any type of electrical system or circuits, backing up their work with a 2-year guarantee. Doesn't matter if it's data wiring for your commercial building or a busted wall socket you hate so much you think about moving. And you'll know to the penny what it'll cost with Ideal Electric's upfront flat rate pricing. So when the situation isn't ideal, get Ideal Electric. From Tulsa to Oklahoma City, call today and a licensed electrician will be on their way. 918-812-7641 and at idealelectrictulsa.com. Wait! Ideal Electric also services and installs generators. Months from now, when it's 2 degrees and an ice storm has cut the power, you'll feel really smart you called Ideal Electric today. 918-812-7641 and at idealelectrictulsa.com.
And we're We're back with cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Thank you for tuning in to 102.3 FM. This is KRMG. Here we are covering topics like blockchain technology, cryptocurrency. We are a hotspot, one of the only few radio shows in the country doing it. But to help me do this, I am actually going to bring on my trusted co-host. I didn't have any fun words to describe you this time, Eric, but welcome back to the show.
Hey, fun words, no words, whatever, Matt. The best Christmas present I ever got was you becoming my friend. So there you go. But if you guys want to see a lot of our fun relationship on the air, you can go back on krmg.com, search the on-demand area, and you can find all of our shows from the very first one, where we did it from two different offices over the bricks and recorded it in the heat of COVID. And now we also are on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Crypto More on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I also want to say, don't forget to check out our show sponsor. Once again, that's Hedge. And they are not only just making our show possible, but they are leading the way with payroll solutions when it comes to cryptocurrency. And you can start getting your paycheck in crypto, and you can go check them out at gethedge.io and start living on the hedge.
That's right. A lot of education.
Education.
That gentleman was very interesting last week, and I hope you guys have him back because, I mean, it's as easy as opening a bank account.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just telling your employer, here, put X amount of my pay into this, and it goes directly into Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you want. That's making it easy, and that's when people are going to really start adopting this, when people are doing stuff like that. So Hedge.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have
gethedge.com.
Set it and forget it. That's the best way to do it.
Well, we're definitely going to have a bunch of people from their organization joining us on the radio, and one of them actually she's from I think she was formerly involved with the WWE. I think she may have been marketing or advertising with them or something, but now she's doing that similar kind of work with Hedge, and I'll ask her some more when we have her on the show. But really fascinating people, and we met these people at the Bitcoin conference down in Miami, which we'll talk a little bit about that later. But in studio with us is not only Charlie Spears, which you heard from on the first segment from Nakamotor Partners, but we have our main guest today. His name is Abe Cruz. Abe, welcome to the show, sir. Please introduce yourself and share with the audience about your brand, Forever Faith.
Well, thank you so much for having me back because I love this show. It's exciting, and like you said, it's one of the few in the United States, so we're early adopters.
Yes, sir.
My company is called Forever Faith, and it's a simple message to the world that with faith, when we put God first, ourselves second, we can't lose, and that's what I call the mindset of champions. So, started at rock bottom and just moving forward in life.
That's right. Well, hey, let's start here because I want to give some people some context before we dive into the crypto stuff. So you're a Christian, and so am I, and I love that you're incorporating your faith into your business model. But this message that you share and the business that you have was fundamentally inspired by an experience that you had. Can you share with us where you were going and how you got to Oklahoma today?
Well, I was born and raised in East LA, born into poverty, just wanted more in life. And that's where I just kind of got fed up with it. And then 23, 24 years old, I ended up getting in trouble transporting cocaine across the country from Los Angeles to the East Coast. And I didn't get a warning, no slap on the wrist. Oklahoma said, no, we're sending you to prison. I got pulled over on the turnpike, I-40, and that was it. There was no warning. I went straight to prison. I had to do my time. They wanted to send me away for 30 years. And as you can, you would think, imagine at 24, 25 years old, you'd be losing your faith. And everybody in prison lost their faith. And that's what I realized while I was in there. After I cried and I was depressed for so long, I said, wait a minute, this is not how life is supposed to be. Yeah. I made the mistake, but that doesn't mean my life is over.
Right. So you were supposed to be in there, you said, for 30 years?
They wanted to give me a 30-year sentence, okay? And I wanted to flee the country. I was getting ready to leave. At that time, Venezuela wasn't that bad. But I was getting ready to leave. And my mom, yelled at me, a Mexican woman from Mexico, said, you did the crime, you got to do your time. And we fought the case. It took me 2 years. I battled it. I paid, an attorney, and I flew back to Oklahoma every month just to let the judge know I wasn't going to fly out and escape. She said, you got to deal with it. It's time to man up. And she tells me in Spanish. She speaks Spanish. I'm Mexican-Cuban. And a lot of prayer, a lot of stress, a lot of worry. But at the end of all of it, I understood that there was a purpose for everything that I had gone through to build me up. And my ex-girlfriend at that time said, God will never put you in a position that you can't handle. Mm-hmm. And that kind of hit me in the heart as I was sitting in my hotel the night before I had to turn myself in. I was just bawling, saying, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually going to prison. I have to turn myself in. But I remembered her saying that, and that voice stuck to me the next year as I was in prison, incarcerated. And eventually they ended up dropping my charges from 10 years in, 25 out. So I ended up doing about 35 to 40% of that 10 years, which is almost 4.
Wow. So how did you manage that? Like, why did that happen? Why was it cut short?
Well, just truthfully speaking, I had a lot of money to pay a real attorney. And if I would have had a public defender, I would have been thrown to wolves and I'd still be in there right now. Yeah. That's just the reality of it. And, we could talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, that and the fact that it was a first-time offender, first offense, they cut a little break on me fighting it.
And the fact that you did not try to flee the country.
Yeah.
You did not try to throw somebody else under the bus or claim innocence. Yep, it's a fair cop. You got me.
I was guilty. I took it, and that was it.
I was listening to a lot of Johnny Cash while unpacking, and it just makes me think about that. But despite cryptocurrency being a part of your business, what do you hope that people see or learn with Forever Faith? What do you say to someone who might be listening who's maybe in the exact same spot that you're in? And you had obviously the Lord had a huge part of it, but you took it from prison to success.
Well, so I started in prison. I fasted for 40 days. When I fasted for 40 days, God started to give me visions. He started to speak to me and said, get up, boy. I have a mission for you. Are you ready? Do I have your attention? As obviously I was arrogant and stuck up and just lost and confused before. I humbled myself as a servant and said, I'm sorry, Father, please give me a chance to carry out this mission. Forever Faith was simply a message that he gave me to deliver to the rest of the world. And I knew it because I had started writing it down on paper, on shirts, with crayons and markers, and that was it. So I already knew the mission and the purpose. So as soon as I got out of prison 4 years later, I hit the ground running and telling the world, hey, I have a message, but I don't know how I'm supposed to get it out there. And God just started sending me guardian angels, and the reality, it was a reality.
Yeah, just to see where you were and where you come from now. You need to go check out his website because your story's on there. You've got links to stuff.
We have a book now. I wrote the book. My book is a 2-time award-winning book. It's in 600 stores in Puerto Rico. It's going into 1,000 in Mexico, another 1,000 in Colombia. That's only God.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive here. We got roughly 2 minutes, but I think Charlie has a question here. We were talking about cryptocurrency, but passion. Okay, so as far as the crypto space, why are you doing this? What got you into this space? Like what triggered this?
In 2002, I was involved with my first network marketing company. In 2002, they were predicting $1 trillion e-commerce industry. Jeff Bezos was probably in college hanging out, dropping out or whatever in his garage. They predicted this $1 trillion industry. So when I heard about crypto, I said, I need to get ahead of schedule. The world is coming there. I need to be there years light ahead. And so I know that we're preparing for the future. The future is now.
Nice. Well, I think, gosh, we got so much to unpack. Your story alone could be an entire episode. But when we jump back onto the show, we're going to talk more with Abe. We're going to talk more about his business, how he's incorporated cryptocurrency into that. And I think it'll be really interesting to see his strategy on how he's going to grow adoption with his project, because he does have his own cryptocurrency, and what it's like to even start one.
Amen.
So,
and you get full points for not just, giving up, folding the tent, crawling back to California with your tail between your legs and saying, meh. get out of prison, start a business, and then beyond that, looking forward to how can I make this business, thrive and move into the 21st century.
That's it.
And I think that's pretty cool. So we are going to take a quick time out, but we're going to come back with more. Fear not. And we'll talk more about how foreverfaith.com works. What is that business? We haven't really talked about that. Meanwhile, we got to get you caught up on the news and the weather. So we're going to do that for you real quick here. And then we'll be back with more. You are listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Stick with us. Yeah, we not only have one of the coolest radio shows in the land, we have some of the coolest theme music in the land. You're listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. My name's Russell Mills. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today. We are learning about Abe Cruz and his business, foreverfaith.com. We found out that he got himself in a whole bunch of trouble trying to shuttle some cocaine across the country, took his life down a whole different path, and now he's building a business, and he's integrating cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies, and he tells me he doesn't even know how to turn the computer on. So I reckon we're going to learn more about that, but let's get our host involved here. He is Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, thanks, Russell. I kind of look at it as delegating. I'm pretty sure Abe's just really good at delegating. So, hey, that's what entrepreneurs can do, right? So, well, let's start here. I know, Eric, last segment you were with us, and I didn't have any juicy titles or descriptions because that's kind of a regular thing for me to do to describe you. But why don't you say hello and tell the people what they're getting ready to experience?
Yeah, and Matt, it's okay. Anytime that we get to meet on Sunday and talk crypto, it's always a good day. But last segment we were speaking with Charlie Spears from Nakamotor Partners, and Charlie has some cool things going on here with the company, and then also our main guest is Abe, and he's the founder of a lifestyle brand known as Forever Faith. So, guys, welcome back to the show, both of you. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Always love this show. Good to see you, Eric.
Absolutely.
Now, Abe, last segment you shared with us your background story, but how exactly are you using cryptocurrency in your business, and why did you decide to do this?
Yes, we are crypto friendly. We're right now in the transitions to actually accepting Bitcoin, accepting Doge, whatever we want to do. We have the ability to do that. But on top of that, we have our own form of currency, Forever Faith Coin. So we have the token and stable. We're utilizing it for our products. So they can purchase our products through it. We're putting together events, music events. We're producing a film. So when you start to become a producer, you're in control. Right. And that's what this is about. This is about producing. So now you decide and determine how you're going to collect your currency.
Because you have a message that God gave you, and you don't want that watered down.
100%. It's about the message more than anything. So that's the focus.
So apart from accepting different cryptocurrencies and even the one that you've created for payment of products or services, does it act like a utility token that gives you access into some kind of ecosystem, maybe discounts, maybe, is it
all of the above? All of the above. I mean, you could back it. You could put it into a project. I mean, we're creating many projects, and I guys talked to you about my book, the Forever Faith book, and ultimately starting a business requires funding. There's a lot of partnerships that come about, and we're turning the book into a movie. Okay, so in order to produce a film, we're going to have to raise funds. So this is going to utilize and give the average American, the average person in the world, to even invest $5 or $10. That allows them to put it into a big pot that's going to be their project, so they can call themselves an owner of Forever Faith.
So you're kind of crowdsourcing.
Absolutely. That's exactly what is happening all across the world, from Bitcoin to SHIB to everything.
So you decided the blockchain you decided to use, which I think I remember in previous conversations, it's Binance Smart Chain, right?
Correct. Yes, Binance Smart Chain. You can go there and see it and download your Trust wallet, and we'll hook you up. Because right now it's friends and family. This is all friends and family. I haven't even gone public with it except for your show now.
You have now.
With everybody. But that's what we're doing.
But can you tell us what foreverfaith.com is? What are you selling?
Right. So many things. But foreverfaith.com started off as an apparel company from prison, okay? I started designing clothing in prison, and it was just a message because everyone in prison lost their faith. I would hear grown men on the phone with their wives and their children crying about not knowing what to do when they got out. They lost all their faith. The message that God gave me was to give to them at that time, forever faith. Don't lose your faith. So when we get out in the world, there's now a purpose. Trends in society and culture are such a brainwashing mechanism. Okay, so Forever Faith is in that same way, but it's actually good. Yeah. This is to help your life. I want the best. God wants the best for every single one of us.
So basically, when people buy into the Forever Faith, they're owning a piece of that brand. They're participating in that brand in a very intimate level.
Absolutely. I respond to people on social media. I give personal phone calls. I mean, any of these other big mega brands in the world, you'd never talk to the CEO. You'd never meet with the main celebrities that they hire. No, this is a community driven. So we want to build that community.
Abe, I got an interesting question. We were talking off air in between the show, and you've got many very fascinating elements to your story. I'm particularly interested as, your resident, technical guy in the room, because you were telling me, you are not... You are not as engaged on the actual technical back end of the token, but you have a really good team behind that. Can you tell me about them and how you're actually mechanically, or maybe what they're doing on the back end?
Yes, absolutely. My 18-year-old son creates my invoices to send out to clients because I'm not a computer guy. And so when it came to the blockchain and the cryptocurrency, they said, you're going to have your own token. I said, I don't know how I'm supposed to create that. They said, don't worry about it. This is the future. The future is now, and this is where we're headed. So we have an incredible team in Colombia. And now with obviously the internet and social media, you could do anything anywhere on the planet and still make money and still allow the business to grow. So our whole team in Colombia is putting together the technology and the coin and the token and the wallets and creating everything that we need to have a successful brand.
I think that's one of the really interesting components here. And I think one of the reasons why this story is very fascinating is because, to a lot of listeners of the show, they may not be technical people. They may find cryptocurrency, Bitcoin kind of inaccessible. But here you are literally working in the business. You just know the right people to trust. And it's more about saying that you don't have to understand the nuts and bolts of how it works, but just really in the implementation of it.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, everything in life is all about who you know and who you trust. If you're able to trust people, you have good people around you. That's why it's so important to have those kinds of relationships. I trust my people in Colombia. They're building everything for me, and that allows me to be in Oklahoma and still be able to talk about it. They send me notes and education and those kinds of things, so I understand the Binance Smart Chain or the Ethereum blockchain and all the different facets. And it's incredible as we move into the NFT world and the metaverse and.
Well, speaking of people of who you know, you had mentioned that, for those who don't know, Binance is a big exchange, international exchange. They have a U.S. version, and I think they've got a version in Colombia.
Yep.
And
Latino America.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you, I guess, ran into the CEO of Binance?
I didn't, but my business partner did. My business partner in Colombia. I was in Colombia for 3 weeks last month, and I was there, and I got to see everything. We had literally NFT gatherings and paintings, and it's such an incredible world. So they had lunch, and they know the Forever Faith coin and token and what's coming. So yeah, we're on the exchange. You can get your Trust wallet. You can check us out, and right now it's friends and family.
So obviously, whenever you make a decision in your company, you got to have some kind of benefit. So what benefits have you seen already at this point by just having cryptocurrency being a big part of your online store?
Well, being able to make early decisions. I mean, this is where people either call you're crazy or you're a genius, kind of a situation, and you don't know what's going on. But I learned just from the past, like I mentioned, network marketing. When I talk about Forever Faith mindset of champions, this is having a thought process ahead of schedule. This is seeing things that are not there. And when I was at Bank of America, one of the managers said that they weren't going to be moving into the crypto space very soon because the Latino world was slow motion. And I felt insulted by even hearing that because they weren't quick enough to adapt to what's going on. And in reality, the United States is what's behind because Latin America is way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're adopting that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. On a daily basis, they're I mean, the PR agent was sending money to a friend in Bitcoin. They're just, it's a text message like that.
Yeah, well, and your book, where can people find that if they want to read more about your story?
Well, I would direct everybody, because I'm an entrepreneur, to www.foreverfaith.com. We handle it. I sign the books personally. I'll send you a beautiful message and thank you for supporting the mission. So foreverfaith.com. But in Puerto Rico, we're in 600 stores. We're in Walmart, Walgreens, the Book Mart, and also the International Airport.
And if you're not following him on Instagram, he's got a pretty big following on Instagram. What's your handle there?
Yes, you guys follow at The Real Abe Cruz. The Real Abe Cruz, not the fake one, okay? And then Forever Faith, the brand.
So I'm really curious. You're still here in Oklahoma. I mean, obviously you're free to go wherever you want, but you decided to stay here. Why?
Well, I did my time here. I went to prison here, and when I got out of prison, I was forced to stay on the ankle monitor. I was supposed to stay for 3 years. I had probation for 3 years, but I got out. I got a gym finally after 15 people said no, they wouldn't give me a job. All American Fitness gave me a job. Somebody came into the gym about 6-7 months later as I was selling T-shirts out of the trunk of my $600 Acura. And I told him what my mission was. I told him what God had in store for the world that I had to deliver. This gentleman tells me after three meetings, he says, I'm not sure why, but I feel like God sent me to help you. He pulls out 2 credit cards and says, I have $80,000 here, and I want to help your mission.
Dang. Mic drop.
So Oklahoma's only been a blessing. I was just on Channel 6 and Channel 9 2 or 3 nights ago. I was in LA, but it's dirty, it's corruption, it's evil.
And what too, with the beautiful thing about Oklahoma, like there's a lot of opportunity here because it's a smaller community, and like you said, it's a lot of times it's who you know, and I've got some very important people on my cell phone that I could just call, which is harder to do when you're in a bigger state or a bigger city.
Absolutely. I mean, all of the above, but everything comes down to your mindset. So when you have that right mindset, I mean, we could go hang out in Idaho and still make some big things happen. It doesn't matter where we're at. There's so much here in Oklahoma. Look at this show.
Hey, we're trying to be trendsetters,
You're doing it. You're doing it.
Now, we always ask our guests, Miami in April. So you are going to be coming to the Bitcoin 2022, right?
I have it on the calendar. Absolutely. It's April 6th through 9th. Yeah. I'm doing a huge convention in Colombia at the end of February. It's a fitness expo that is bringing in cryptocurrency.
Wow.
Into the fitness world. So it's all coming together. It's crazy.
We're going to turn that maybe on Facebook into a yes, you're attending.
Yes. I just got to mark it down on the calendar. I love Miami, of course.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later here, but we're coming up to a close on this segment, and if you want to hear more about Abe, stick around.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. And again, if you are interested in looking at the website and seeing what Abe has to offer, and by the way, seeing some of the more cut abdominal muscles I've ever seen in my life. I mean, seriously, dude, what the heck is wrong with you? It's foreverfaith.com, foreverfaith.com. Check it out. You are listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We're live and local in the big city of Tulsa on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Be right back.
Building a
welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We are live on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. My name's Russell Mills. Thank you very much for tuning in, spending part of your Sunday with us. Quick reminder, you can always find this show and every episode of it, except the famous lost episode. It's all there for you on KRMG.com or the KRMG app. Just hit the on-demand section and look for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. And as I look to my left, you know what I see? Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Well, I may not be as pretty to look at as Abe, but I don't consider myself ugly. So thanks for looking over at me.
I don't think you're ugly, and as long as everybody's wearing shirts, we'll keep it PG. Okay.
Well, let's do this. I want to welcome all the crypto newbies, lovers, and experts. This is the radio show for you, and we bring in interesting topics, interesting guests to cover some good ground. And to help me do that is my co-host Eric Cooper. Eric, welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
There we go. Buttons.
Always one. So, Matt, I appreciate it. And if you're listening, and this has been a great story with Abe, but you finally are wanting to jump off on the crypto journey, I encourage you to reach out to Matt. It's a conversation. There's not a subscription or anything like that, and he's not going to get your bank account information and go run off with it. He is going to educate you on how to get started. So, and I know that I am very, very thankful this year because obviously I have a pretty fun wallet going on, and it's because of you, Matt. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric. I try to make a difference in people's lives, and that's what it's about. But we're going to welcome back Abe and Charlie, who are in studio with us. Abe Cruz is our main guest, and Charlie Spears is a regular contributor to this show. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Always glad to be back, Matt.
Absolutely.
Well, let's do this. This question is actually for both of you guys. So let's do this. The future. We all like to imagine it. But how do you guys see companies using cryptocurrencies and, blockchain technology other than for direct payments of products and services?
There's a lot of, ways I could answer this question. I'm particularly fascinated by Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a monetary network. I tried to send a bank wire. We harp on this all the time. I tried to send a bank wire last week, and it was incredibly challenging. It's timely, costly, and everything, and often region gated. I can send Bitcoin in a matter of minutes anywhere in the world. And so, Bitcoin is a savings technology. Yeah, it's a hedge against inflation. I think it's so much more than that. Whenever you look at what it means to completely unlock the ability to send money or value anywhere in the world without any kind of trusted authority, that's pretty incredible.
It is. And I know, Abe, you're doing it with your own business, but and you could even talk about the plans for your future with your cryptocurrency.
Well, I mean, it's already happening. I mean, it's just happening outside of the United States, and that's where the focus is really pushing it. It's allowing us, I sent you a video earlier today, it's allowing us to be in control. Right. Why are we waiting for the banks 4 or 5 days to tell us that we have to wait to send our own money?
Right.
If my mom needs money, why am I can't wait for that, So
that
important.
They actually don't even have in-house.
They don't have. They sent out to make some profits on so they can bring it back, you know? So I'm full-fledged on it, This is giving the average person. So what you're doing with this show, as I piggyback off what Eric said, you're doing a great service. People need to understand that you are helping them, educating them, and more than that, you're giving them a financial gain in their future.
Right. Well, and I tried it. Like, I had a conversation with a couple of people, and it happens often. But people are like, where do I start? And I just sent them some videos, Crypto 101 that I've done. It's like a little seminar from a Zoom meeting I had, or what gives Bitcoin value? Why do people care? Why do we look at it as money? And so much more. And when I can push content, whether it's over the radio, over YouTube, and get the right people to listen to, that's really what it's about. It's education, because we want people to be in the space wise, be wise with it, because it can be dangerous. And yes, it is volatile, but it's a new and evolving space. And with that volatility also comes great opportunity.
Absolutely.
So
imagine what happens when you unlock the ability to send money anywhere in the world. What kind of businesses and innovation can happen outside of the U.S. and within the U.S.? I mean, this is a global story. This is a global narrative. I'm very bullish on human innovation over the next 2 decades.
Right. And that's exactly what's happening.
And we were talking about segment one, and if you don't know a lot about what was being said, just understand that some of the brightest minds and some of the brightest up and coming minds are working on blockchain to give us more opportunity. And like you said, it's kind of like who but then also I'd rather them be working on blockchain than trying to make the iPhone 92 with a better camera. Because I mean, we pretty much maxed out on like what this thing can do, right?
Yeah, look at where the smart people, where the smart kids are going right now. They're not going to go work for oil companies. I come from energy.
Yeah.
They're not going to go work for oil companies. They're not going to go work for government. They're going to go work in crypto and Bitcoin, and they're going to go work for technology and to build rockets to go up into space. That's where they're going.
Or the big companies like Amazon and Yahoo. These people are recruiting cryptocurrency and blockchain experts because they know that this has to happen.
Right. Well, you know, like there's a bank in Tulsa, Vast Bank, that's offering, you know, cryptocurrency services and products alongside a regular checking account. And I bring them up because they're one of the few banks. I mean, I know there's a couple of them.
They were the first in the country, I think.
Yeah.
To do that.
Right. And it's just a simple download with their app on the App Store, and you can jump right into cryptocurrency. And, you know, there's a lot of ways to get into it. But the point that I'm making is banks have to realize that their time is limited, and they're like dinosaurs sitting on the earth, and there's a big asteroid coming towards them, and it's the size of, you know, symbol of Bitcoin, you know, and so it's like get on the ship or get annihilated, you know, or get in the bunker, I should say.
So here I would draw an analogy. If this show was 25 years ago, and we were talking about this internet thing.
Right.
Have you heard about this internet thing?
Never going to happen.
I think it's going to, you know, it's a CB radio. It's a fad. No, you know, entire industries are going to go and die because of this internet thing. And I'll give you a perfect example. When was the last time you saw a Blockbuster store?
Yeah.
Yep. Right? Yep. So, you know, just all they had to do was solve the bandwidth problem. Once they got there, the internet went boom.
Right. Yeah.
This is Internet 3.0. It's one element of the next version of the internet, and it's going to be completely different.
Yeah, the same way the internet was not just a faster fax machine or a faster telegraph, it revolutionized all communication. Bitcoin and monetary networks and cryptocurrencies are not a faster way to send payments. They are an entire innovation or revolution across all value in the world.
You guys, really quickly, tell us how people can find you, Abe.
Yes, www.foreverfaith.com, @TheRealAbeCruz. And you guys sending us a message, and you know, I'm opening this up to the friends and family for the Forever Faith coin.
Yes, sir. Charlie, how about yourself?
I've been sending people to my Twitter @CBSpears, and then for my company, Nakamotor Partners, it's nakamotor.io.
And if your head is spinning, don't worry. You can go to my website, mattjmoore.com. I can sit down with a consultation and maybe try to get your head to stop spinning. But this is what it's about. So tune in every Sunday.
Absolutely. And we'll probably take a little holiday hiatus next Sunday, I believe. Plus, there's Kansas City Chiefs football. So that's two reasons why. Give the guys a week off. We'll still have the show, however, one of our best of episodes. We'll be back here live and local in a couple of weeks. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon as we see you. Thanks for listening. This is 102.3 KRMG.